Welcome everybody. My name is Tamara Paris and today I'm the host of this LOBO and Safeopedia webinar. We're so glad that you're able to join us. Today we've got our member Rob talking to us about working in elevated areas and at heights as well as in confined spaces. We've got a great agenda for you today. Rob's going to be talking to us about the top challenges for safety maintenance. He's going to be looking at some solutions for those hard and challenging workplace areas that we want to be working in. He's also going to be looking from a business perspective at the financial cost and reducing your operational cost when using these kind of workplace solutions. He's got some great key benefits to share with you for both the business and the workers. But before we get started, I wanted to introduce you to our member, Rob.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Bokros, and I'm really pleased to be here today.
Thank you, Rob. So I wanted to share just a little bit about you before we get started because it's quite exciting. Rob is actually the CEO and owner of the LOBO System for over 20 years now. He also invented and created the LOBO Work System platform. He brings his knowledge as an engineer to us, our membership, as he's a graduate from the University of Derby. So let's get started.
Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. This is Rob, CEO of LOBO Systems, and what I want to talk to you about today is the top challenges for safe maintenance. So the starter slide is we're going to discuss 6 challenges and illustrate them using some of our customers as examples to show you how I've provided a solution. The first challenge is safe access for regular maintenance at Amazon fulfillment centers. Now, Amazon is a global company with global maintenance issues. And from our perspective, Amazon falls into our automated distribution vertical, and currently we're working with at least 11 different fulfillment centers. Now, the photograph in the center shows an aluminium tower which was condemned by the safety department as it would not get to the area needing maintenance. Other options considered by Amazon were other aluminium towers, MUPs, and cherry pickers. But none of these really reached properly, and they definitely wouldn't fit into the tight space. So LOBO was invited to the facility, and having made an assessment, we gave them our LOBO solution. And that is what you see on the right-hand side. These are illustrations that we always provide for our customers, so the customer can see exactly what they're going to get. And the blue areas are the illustration of how we would depict a conveyor or a machine. And it fully shows how LOBO can integrate into other people's machinery for maintenance. We gave them a pool of equipment which then solved all their safe, regular maintenance issues. 2, I want to talk about safe access for construction plant. The second challenge, as I said before, is for safe access for construction plant. And this is based in the field and back at the repair shop. Leaper and case construction equipment are typical of all construction plant companies, and I'm sure you know loads of others like Caterpillar and John Deere and people like that. The challenge here is to reduce maintenance on machinery and reduce the downtime to repair as safely as possible. Additional cost is incurred when plant is returned back to base for repair. And this cost could be as simple as finding a low loader and having the construction plant move back to base for safe repair. Now with LOBO, you can take LOBO to the construction plant and maintenance performed in the field instead of the costly option of taking the plant back to the repair shop. The platform on the left took only 35 minutes. And the outside structure only took 45 minutes to assemble. Both systems are bespoke, but are made from standard LOBO components. And before LOBO, they were using ladders which leant against the plant, and this resulted in accidents, which is why we were called in. These platforms are perfect for both inspection and repair of construction plant machinery. The third challenge is to provide a simple solution for multiple locations. I'm going to use General Motors as my example here for a number of reasons. Firstly, they have a variety of challenges, and secondly, we've been doing business with them for 15 years. From skylights on the plant roof to complex maintenance configurations at different locations within the manufacturing areas, LOBO checks all the boxes for multi-location. Maintenance managers do not have to worry about access for their staff, as LOBO is perfect for multi-location use around the plant. Prior to purchasing, we had to demonstrate and prove to GM that LOBO could be assembled from within and workers would never be exposed to the risk of a fall. We did this by demonstrating and providing our advanced guardrail assembly process, which ensures handrails are always fitted above you from a position of safety before you reach that level. And I have a question I'd like to answer from Kingsley Fitzgerald. I think this answers your question on flat roof panels. The fourth challenge is to provide a simple solution for multiple locations. And I have two companies here I'd like to talk about. The Royal National Lifeboat Institution had two issues. The first, they needed a work platform which adjusted to the required height. And secondly, they needed a system that would provide edge protection or fall protection around parts of the boat. As you can see from the photograph, the height adjustable work platform is right here where the tow board is. And at the front of the boat, you've got the edge protection. Now to us, it's just one system that we've made to them, a bespoke system to them, made with standard LOBO components. As you can see, we provided a system at the rear as well. Rutherford Appleton Space Laboratory. The issues at this company, or it's actually a laboratory, RAL, was not only about access inside complex shaped vacuum chamber and erecting a work at height solution in the chamber, but also many other issues around the facility, including structures over satellites. With LOBO, you put it up, do the job, and then take it down. Job done. LOBO is one solution for multiple applications. The fifth challenge is how to regain control of planned and unplanned maintenance tasks. We were invited to a production site at Valero Energy, a refining site, where they employ many outside contractors on the plant. And the problem is, for every different access product and for every different contractor company, a record of compliances, training, etc., had to be created and kept up to date. With LOBO, there is only one product, one set of training, and one set of records to be kept. So using your own staff means no additional administration. Valero's own workers were upskilled to provide the assembly service, and third-party contractors' reliance was significantly reduced. So here's a great cost-saving slide I'm very happy to show you. At Valero, as you can see, they're spending 3.6 million on scaffolding service to a single refinery. Not surprisingly, they wanted to do a number of things. They wanted to reduce cost, they wanted to increase safety, but also they wanted to regain control of the scaffolding function and not be reliant on these outsourced scaffolding contractors. Now let's look at the chart. By upskilling their workforce, they can then provide their own scaffolding function. So let's take a look at the chart again. We have in 2014 an actual spend with us of 170,000. Now 170,000 pounds is about $225,000. So think of it in any currency you wish. We have $170,000 spent with us, and when we talked to the refinery at a later date, they told us that that represented an 8% saving in the scaffolding spend. So that resulted in an annual saving for Valero of $288,000. Now the nice thing about this slide is it shows that they've been with us since 2014. They've spent every year, they've kept their training up to date, and if you look at the bottom line, they've saved $3.5 million by going with us. And I have a question coming in from James, and James wanted to quantify the incident and cost saving reduction, and this is the answer. I think here that I have quantified the cost savings, and we're not aware of any incidents at this plant. The sixth challenge is administration and indirect costs of using contractors. London Underground, Transport for London, have a very strict safety policy. All maintenance work is completed when the stations are closed overnight, and therefore scaffolding services are expensive as it's central London. Let's take an example. These two slides here, photographs, would cost £10,000, $12,000 for 2 nights in central London, and the scaffolder would be there on hand to put it up, take it down, move it around, put it up, take it down. The LOBO solution was $6,500, and once they bought the product and been trained, it can be used every night by their own maintenance crews. Extra insurance and induction courses were also required to cover third-party outsourced contractors because they're not directly employed by London Underground. So by upskilling their own workers with this, the need for third-party contractors was reduced. So that's the end of the challenges. So what about the solutions for universal workplace challenges? Well, equipping your workers is the first solution with the essential equipment to carry out the tasks safely and efficiently. So the first one we've come up with is fall protection. How do you do that? Well, that's with guardrails and handrails. And these can be fitted at all points during assembly of the system. And I've got a 5-second, 10-second video here I'd like to share with you just to show you how easy it is to fit a LOBO guardrail anywhere. There's no sound on these. That's how easy it is. Now, by doing this, you would never be exposed to the risk of a fall. Falling objects. How do we cope with falling objects from our product? Toe boards. I have another little video I'd like to share with you that shows how quick and easy it is to put these on. These are made from PVC and steel reinforced. They clip on the perimeter of the board, and they can also be locked in place with a toe board clip that we can provide. Now, everybody that's building a system doesn't want a rickety system that moves around and makes them feel seasick when they're up there. So we want to produce a rigid system. And how do we create rigidity in our system? Well, we use our telescopic sway braces. And here's another little video. We do these in 3 sizes, and this is the smallest. The first thing to do is to set the sway brace at exactly the right length you need. Clips on in seconds. It's a steel product, so there's no problem with it being weak like aluminum. Snaps on there at the end. And we put these all over the place to increase system rigidity. And the last thing I want to show you is how we create a stable system. Now we have an outrigger product to stabilize systems, and it also increases the footprint. And here's another little video to show you how quick and easy it is to put on a LOBO outrigger. Again, a steel component. The foot is extended, pin put back in, tighten the thumb screw, and then braced against the floor. You can see the gap there is 3 foot 900 millimeters, and that's how we stabilize the base. Secondly, we want to provide a system that is fit for purpose. We want it to be customizable. We want it to fit exactly. We want it to be reconfigurable, which means we want it to fit changing demands. And we want it to be any size, any shape, anywhere, and all with a no tools assembly. I have a question here from Caroline Karlshoe, and this product is perfect for food company maintenance, and it works with pipes, pipe runs, and awkward confined spaces. Thank you, Caroline. Thirdly, we want to ensure all staff and all workers are trained and competent to erect, use, and dismantle the system. A LOBO standard training course is 4, maybe 5 hours long, up to 8 people at once, with a multi-choice test at the end. We also have a train the trainer program, which is for 2 people, and it's a high intensity course. It lasts a day, and again it has 2 multi-choice tests at the end. And this course is aimed at large companies who have a competent trainer who want to train their own staff. I have a question coming in from JW about liability. Our answer to the liability question is that certified training helps to mitigate liability issues. We also have a question from Godwin Kilagwa, and this is the answer where we train you to inspect the product in the training course. Now, both our courses have classroom and practical sessions to ensure competency. The training covers health and safety, policies, regulations, procedures. It trains you how to build the product, erect, inspect, and also we have a multi-choice test, complete with a free DVD video, or you can watch it on YouTube, which explains the LOBO system and the build press. Basically, a training video. We provide certification on successful completion of the LOBO system training course. Question coming in from Terry and Alvaro Calderon, sorry about my pronunciation there, and Jesus. I hope this slide answers your questions about certification and competency. Fourthly, to reduce your reliance on outsourced contractors. So no need for third-party contractors. Use your own maintenance crew. And this means that LOBO can put you back in control of quality, cost, and reliability. It's configurable at will, and it's available around the clock. And the way we've done we've actually taken the welded clamps and we've put them at preset positions on the system, and this allows us to use your own maintenance crews following our training session. And now we have a video which I'd like to share with you. It's a couple of minutes long, but it shows you how easy the product goes together. Okay, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to move on to the next slide. We're going to talk a little bit now about optimization. So we're talking about how we optimize the business, how we can reduce operational costs. Okay, by using LOBO, you can upskill your workers to provide the assembly function previously provided by scaffolders, therefore reducing the labor costs as you're not paying twice. Since you have less personnel on your site by using your own maintenance crew and not having to bring in external scaffolders, there is a reduction in management overhead and administration. And also you have round-the-clock availability of a work platform system. So we say do it yourself, but do it safely. To quantify the cost savings and to quantify the speed at which LOBO can be deployed, I want to share with you this Shell report. Now, I'm more than happy to send anyone a copy of this report, so please just email me at the end and I'll get it to you in PDF format. This report was commissioned by Shell and performed by Bilfinger Industrial Services. And what it did, it compared the time taken to erect traditional scaffolding against the time taken to assemble an equivalent LOBO system for a particular application they had on site. The scaffolding was recorded at 18 man-hours, whereas the LOBO system took 1.8 man-hours. There is clearly a huge saving here, and to answer James's question about quantifying productivity, I think this clearly and hopefully answers your question, as LOBO is up to 10 times faster than traditional tube and clip scaffolding. Key benefits for business. With a LOBO system, you can reduce your costs. You can reduce your labor, your administration, your management overheads, etc. all go down. You have a bespoke, safe, flexible, adjustable, reconfigurable system that puts you right at the maintenance point, thereby increasing safety. And as it's available around the clock, it puts you back in control. No wasted time waiting for the contractors to show up, give you a quote to do the job. You've got it right there and you can bring it out. On the photograph, just want to bring your attention to the system that was being used at a London theatre in the West End. You can see the red X I put there. That is what they were using. That looks to me pretty dangerous. And this is our solution right here. So we're very happy to help them out. Key benefits for workers. with LOBO, you can stand at precisely where you need to. No one's going to dictate to you where you need your system. You can do it yourself. So we can put a system up freestanding up to a height of 10 meters, that's 30 feet. No need to overreach. We can create the very best configuration to suit every application every time. You're not relying on somebody else to decide what they think the best configuration is. And thirdly, we can develop a better safety culture, which is in turn increases company productivity. We all want to go home safe at the end of every day. Now we have three companies right here, which are our case studies. And we've chosen these companies because we've been dealing with them for years. The first one is Miller Coors, and it's a simple job of cleaning filters that are in a confined space. Now Miller need to clean these filters once every quarter, and they were being charged $98,000. They wanted to reduce that price, understandably they wanted to reduce that cost, and by purchasing LOBO for $15,000, they got their money back the first time they used it. The second company, which is a massive organization in central London, if you think of how many underground stations there are in a big city, London Underground have simply got to change light bulbs. That's what mostly they're doing. And you can't let the lights go out in an underground station. And because it is central London, but it could be central city anywhere in the world, you have high costs to do this. So we had a 10,000, if you refer you back to my original slide on this, we had a £10,000 or $12,000 price tag for the scaffolder. And we brought our system in at considerably lower than that. And again, they got their money back the first time they used it. Thirdly, I'd like to talk about General Motors, again, because we've been working with them for at least 15 years. And we proved that our advanced guardrail process was making sure that the workers were never exposed to the risk of a fall. And we also had to meet the GM's UAW strict safety regulations. Mr. Flyola, we had a question to answer here, that the use of a safety net is not necessary if our advanced handrail system is deployed. I'd like to share with you a couple of testimonials from LOBO customers and safety professionals based both here in the UK and in the USA. So please watch these.
My name's Dean Hampson. I'm the maintenance manager at Michelmersh Brick in Telford. The three key benefits for us of the LOBO system are: it helps us to work safely, it saves us time, and it saves us money.
I'm Robert Skinner, a chartered health and safety practitioner. Some companies are spending a great deal of money procuring outside contractors to erect systems to enable their staff to work at home.
LOBO provides a trainer course so you can go back to site and train people in your department on how to use the equipment safely, which is very easy to do.
The LOBO system is easy to use, light, compactable, and easy to adjust. Existing systems not being very flexible in adjustment in height and width limit the ability to sometimes put the barriers in place to provide the safety protection. So with the LOBO system we can provide both.
Without the LOBO system on site, we would be making calls to contractors, scaffolders to arrange for them to get onto site to solve that problem that we just incurred. With the LOBO system on site, we can react instantly. This saves us money and, more importantly, time.
Great. That was the first customer testimonial, and we have just one more. Here it is.
I'm Boyd Wells. I work for an American car company in the health and safety department. The LOBO equipment has allowed us to move this equipment into so many different areas and configure it into so many various ways that it has been exceptional to where working from a ladder or a piece of scaffolding just wouldn't have worked.
My name is Howard Thacker. I'm CEO of local business Barclay Inns Limited. The three key benefits of LOBO for me are cost effectiveness, ease of assembly, and ultimately safety. Alternative systems that we looked at for these tasks were broadly double the price of the LOBO system.
The LOBO system has been very easy for our people to learn how to use once they receive the training, either in-house or at the LOBO facility. The trainers here have done a great job at demonstrating the equipment to make it easy for those people to pick up on how to assemble this equipment.
We were looking for a system that would give us greater flexibility, greater control over safety in a cost-effective manner. The current system we have now, I think, does that, and the contractors are far happier with the solution. People are much more confident at work.
The LOBO team has been fantastic. I couldn't have been asked to be more welcomed here. Their facility and their team has just been amazing to be here and work with.
I'm back. Oh, thanks for watching those. I hope you found them of interest. So to summarize, we can increase safety. We can reduce costs, but not at the expense of safety. And the challenge is to do both. And you can with LOBO. Global solutions, global compliance. As you can see, we have ISO 9000 and we have the CE mark. And that was a question also put by Kevin. So thanks for your question about CE mark. And yes, we're EU CE compliant. So thank you for listening. And now I'm going to hand you back to Tamara for the Q&A session. I'll be happy to take any questions you may have.
Thanks, Rob. That was a great presentation that you provided us. We have a lot of questions on the board, so I'm going to get started. I really like that, working in retail, I can really see providing this to our staff in order to get up to the bundle. Right now they use step ladders and ladders, and this would be a much more secure system. So I really enjoyed that. We did have a question from Rot Deepak, and he's from Cushman and Wakefield, and he wanted to know if this system could also be used around chimneys.
That's a good question, and the short answer is yes, it can. But LOBO has been designed for industrial maintenance. As an engineer, that's where I saw the gap in the market. So you could use LOBO, but I think really that I would rather it wasn't used in a construction environment, and it was more used as a maintenance product in industrial and energy sectors.
Thank you. Paul Vasu has a question about why would one choose the LOBO system over scaffolding? One of the major concerns they have is that it's got a lot of small parts and it could be misplaced easily. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, well, the fact that it has parts means that it is totally reconfigurable and adjustable. So that's a positive. To keep it secure, you'd use a tower store unit. We have 3. And so that would keep everything locked away and secure so that it would not be lost or even stolen.
So Dan Seuss has a question. For platforms extending 3 meters and more, is there an integrated fall protection system for ascending and descending?
Well, we tend to use the advanced, we've developed with General Motors, the advanced guardrail policy, which means that you're never exposed to the risk of a fall because you're always adding a guardrail or a handrail above your head from a position of safety. And this means when you move up to the next level, you've always got a guardrail to work with. So that's how we would position our system, that you do it that way. And we've had considerable success across the world with safety professionals agreeing to that as a great way forward.
Thank you. Christian asks, are we allowed to use the Velro slide with company info to customer sites?
Yeah, I'm absolutely. That information was given to me by Valero, and there was nothing in there that is confidential. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been putting it out there today. I've had that slide up and increasing the figures on it since 2015. So I think it's been out there a while now.
So we have a question here from Ruba. Can we erect this into elevator shaft? Do you have a case study that involves the elevator industry?
Well, we don't. We are working with a number of elevator companies. Otis is the one that comes to mind, but I think there are others we are working with. And most definitely, this can be, you can make Lobo fit very simply by cutting the tubes to the required length to make it fit within a lift shaft. It would be a very simple, safe, and easy configuration to put together.
Thank you. Ruba also wanted to know if you have a presence in United Arabia in Dubai.
Okay, that's the UAE. We don't. We don't have a global presence everywhere, but we range. So with the UAE and Dubai, we'd be more than happy to provide from the UK a Zoom product demonstration, which is online. We're able to supply online training through our integrated internet-based training department.
Great. What is the maximum height of the platform?
Well, Lobo is considered, and I designed it ideally to be a freestanding system because that's where I feel it needs to be. So when I'm talking about maximum height, I am talking freestanding, and we say 10 meters or 30 feet freestanding is our maximum.
I have another question from Peter Fleming. Is the system ANSI approved? Does it meet the US, EU, and Canadian OSHA, UK Safety Council, and other regulation standards?
The short answer is yes. We comply to all the necessary regulatory bodies around the globe, including OSHA compliancy and CE marked in Europe, and Australia, and Israel, and South Africa. So yeah, we're right up there in terms of our regularity compliances.
Great, thank you. If other people have questions, please do keep sending them in and we'll keep going through them. So I have a question from Christina. When you are using this on a staircase, what are the secondary restraint recommended to stop it from walking?
Okay, we've set this product up on many staircases, escalators, all over the world for years, and we've never encountered it walking. Perhaps I don't understand exactly what you mean by walking, but either way, if we lock the product down with the outrigger product, that can go on the step below the system, and then we can put some more outriggers that go on the steps above the system. It's not going to go anywhere. It's absolutely solid.
Okay. The other question I have from Dimple is, the question was answered, but partially. Why choose Lobo over scaffolding? What makes it different than scaffolding?
Well, it's a lighter weight product, so you'd use it in engineering environments. It's not built to carry huge bags and bricks and wheelbarrows and things like that. So you'd use it because it's a lighter technology. No tools are required, and you don't need to be a scaffolder. And you can make it into any shape or size you want. You just need to get the training.
Okay, thank you. Dave has a question. Mallory Safety, can this system be used in extreme wet environments? What is the coating on the Lobo system for corrosive areas?
Okay, the coating on the Lobo system is an electroplate finish, and that is really good, and we've tested it for years. and it really does protect the steel work. Now, if you're taking it into a really wet area all the time, there are chemicals that you can get out there that you spray onto the product, and I think you refresh the spraying every 6 months, and that will give it additional properties that will stop it corroding. Now, if you email me after this webinar, I'm more than happy to send you the exact chemical to use.
Now, Rob has a question. Is the LOBO system and the training for LOBO readily available in the U.S. and North America? If we contact you, can you put us in touch with the right person here in the U.S.?
Absolutely. We have a network of certified distributors throughout North America, and we'd be delighted to introduce you to one of them. They've all been trained by us. They've all upskilled their training departments to make sure the quality of the training that they send out is really great. So the short answer is yes, and we'd be more than happy to do that for you.
Great. I have a question here from Kevin. What is the maximum payload, i.e. how many workers and tools can be loaded on the platform via the platform's height? What wind load is permitted for external works?
Okay, we've done wind load testings, and that requires an answer that I cannot give you right now. I'd be happy to meet with you on a internet connection to discuss that in much more detail. We've obviously tested it for wind, and the load testing is an easier one for me to answer. So this is the way to look at LOBO. So each leg is rated at 250 kilograms. That's 550 pounds. Now, if you have a 4-legged device, that means you've got a total loading of 4 times 250 kilograms, or 4 times 550 pounds. The limiting factor is the low board. They're rated at 300 kilograms each, which is 660 pounds. So if you wanted to increase the loading of the structure, you can add more legs. So you could go from say a 4-leg device to a 6-leg device, and those extra 2 legs would give you extra load-bearing ability. If you wanted to increase the loading on the low boards, which are our deck boards, you put 2 side by side. So you go from 300 to 600 kilograms because you got them side by side. That's 550. That's 660 twice. Now, if you really wanted to, we do a 1 foot wide deck board, which is 300 millimeters. So you could just load the system up with those, and each one is therefore going to be load tested to 300 kilograms, 660 pounds. I hope that answers your. I know it's hugely technical, but I do hope that answers your question, Kevin. But please feel free to email me afterwards for perhaps a more gentler explanation of that.
Now, Rob, going to the testing that you've done, do you have any reports or anything that we could also share out to our members?
Yeah, we've tested the system and retested the system and retested the system and documented it over the years to make sure that our quality and our load-bearing tests have been completed to absolute perfection. So we can issue a document which proves those testings. Now, all our testing, whether it's the leg, the low board, or even our slider lifting beams, which are all tested, we don't test those. Okay, they're tested by another company who are certified as being a test and measurement company. We've also had our system tested by engineers in Alberta for the Shell Fort McMurray plant, and we know our system is extremely well engineered and strong.
Thank you. So Jacob has a question, and people, if you have more questions, please do send them into the question board and we'll address them. Is there a database of sample builds where builders can use to look at different LOBO builds?
Yeah, we have a range of photographs for many different applications. LOBO, LOBO is sold in probably 10 different vertical segments, market segments. For example, automotive, aviation, food and beverage, oil, automated distribution, waste, chemical plants, clean room applications. And we have photographs and case studies to support all those market segments. So all you need to do is shoot me an email at the end and ask me, and I'll be more than happy to show you as many configurations as I can. Also, as part of our configuration optimization process, we have developed our system onto a CAD system, and from that we've created Visio stencils. Okay, now this means that anyone can put the LOBO system together on the computer using Microsoft Visio and create an illustration. And from that illustration, you can use it for proofing, you can send it back to us for validation, you can adjust it, and then you can document it and give to the people that are building a system, hey, this is what you need to build, I've checked it, this is how it should look. You can laminate it and give it to them as a document that is for quality and assurance purposes. So yes, that was a long answer, I know, and I apologize for that, but we can show you many photographs of the LOBO system being configured and reconfigured time after time in hundreds and thousands of different configurations.
How much time does it take to configure the LOBO system for an average workstation?
Yeah, that's a great question, because it also really depends on how big your system is. But typically you can build a big system with maybe 2 or 3 people in 60 minutes. That would be a really big system. Most build times are averaging around 30 to 35 minutes.
How can safety control be applied in work platform system?
Okay, that's a great question. Number one is training is absolutely key. So this is where you use the Microsoft Visio. Okay, so you can assess, with the knowledge of the product, you can assess a requirement, and you can come up with a Microsoft Visio LOBO illustration. And once you've done that, you can print that off as a JPEG. You can give it to your employees and say, this is what you need to build to perform that particular maintenance task, for example, around that particular machine. So they have a record of what it should look like, and you can give them a bill of materials, and these are the components you use. So that's how you stamp quality on it. Plus, in our training, we teach our trainees how to inspect, assemble, and record that inspection to make sure that the product is safe and fit for purpose.
Thank you. And James had a question. Can you quantify the incident reduction and increased worker productivity with the LOBO system versus regular scaffolding?
We are not aware of any incidents, but we have, through this webinar, highlighted a number of cases about how we improve productivity. May I refer you to the Shell Billfinger report, which increases productivity by tenfold in terms of the build time. And again, as I said when I was on that slide, more than happy to share that report with anyone who wants to see a copy. Please email me afterwards requesting that, and I'll get right to it.
Thank you. We have another question by Raul. Can you tell us about the chemical resistance of LOBO's components in harsh environments and wash down applications? Yeah,
there are certain chemicals which will attack the electroplated surface, and I completely understand that. There is a chemical you can put on the product which will resist those chemicals, and that is called ZEP, and I'm more than happy to give you more information on that. Please email me, and all you do is spray on the ZEP chemical. I think it's called Linebacker, but there are various ones to use, and you spray on the ZEP Linebacker product. Comes in like a 5-liter container, and you hit the product with it, and you do that every 6 months, and it will reduce your corrosion problems. However, our experience of corrosion issues, and they've been very slight, is that it tends to attack the parts of the system which are on the ground, which typically are the legs. So quite honestly, if you see corrosion that you're concerned about with, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg just to swap out the legs on a reasonably, not horrendously long basis, but it's not going to cost you an awful lot of money to actually replace those legs when you see the corrosion is becoming a problem.
Thank you. Need more clarification on slipping surface on platform at heights.
Okay, so our standard low board top is a non-slip surface. So as far as we can, we would recommend the use of that particular top. We also do an aluminum checker plate, diamond plate top, but in a wet environment, that's not as good as the regular top. I think there are products out there that if it's really slippery, you could put on top of the low board deck to reduce the slipping in wet environment. And we also offer a grated top. So if you've got say sand or dirt falling onto your low board system, you can use these graded tops, and the actual sand will fall through away from you. But yeah, you know, obviously, if it's really slippery, you need to make sure it's not slippery before you use the product.
Thank you. So I have one more question. And what were you doing that influenced you to invent the LOBO system in the first place, Rob?
Well, I'm an engineer, and I've been a maintenance engineer all my life. And so I just got together with a colleague, and we came up with this idea to make life better and to increase safety. And when we came to do jobs at a power station, we felt there wasn't a product there that would do the job. So we didn't want to employ scaffolders because we didn't have the time, and the power plant didn't want to pay. So we came up with our own product, and since then we've developed the product extensively to make it as user-friendly as possible.
Well, thank you very much, Rob, for your time today. It's really great to have a member out and sharing his knowledge about what he's doing day to day and things that he's developing to help make safety in our workplaces more achievable for all of us through providing solutions like this. Rob is an EHS professional member, and so we do thank him for taking his time and sharing his knowledge with us today. And thank you, audience, for joining us.
Right. For more details, we here in the UK can schedule a Zoom product demonstration for you online and live. Please email if you want to get that done, and we can do the rest. Check out our website for more information. And hey, thanks for being part of our webinar, and I hope we meet again. And I'm going to hand you back now to Tamara to close the meeting.
Thank you, Rob. Now, people are asking, can we get a copy of this recording or of the presentation? And yes, I'm going to make both of those available in the group. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, thank you, and best of luck to everybody.